Hello, everyone.
Hello, everybody. Hi.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. How's everyone?
Good. Excited.
Right.
All right.
Yes.
Hey, Ganesh.
Hey, Ganesh.
Hi, Ganesh.
Hey, Anton.
Hi. How's it going?
Good. Welcome. I've heard a lot about you from Dylan.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're ever in Northern California, come visit us.
Yeah. Definitely will. I'm gonna be out of town on the 22nd, so I'll try to make it up before then. Really excited to meet you guys.
Yeah. Thanks for all your work and putting together all the tutorials, education content.
Of course. Yeah. Honestly, that's my passion. Like ever since Dylan told me about Harmony and I looked into it, my passion for educating about Harmony has been like top priority. Honestly.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey,
All right, Aaron.
Dave, yeah.
It looks like Aaron's having some
Okay.
webcam issues.
Okay. Screen. Yeah. No worries. Mario. Hey, Mario.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Hi, Mario.
Hi guys.
Hey, Steph.
With some new faces here today.
Yeah. Yeah. Justin. Hello.
Awesome. Justin joining. Marina. Hello, welcome. And we'll give it another minute.
Yeah.
Aaron, do you think it would help to share your screen maybe to go through the agenda, or up to you?
Yeah, I'm ready to do that. Yeah, get that going.
Nice.
All right, cool. So for the agenda today, I sent it in our Telegram, but go through it real quick. We're going to go over last week's updates here for about 10-15 minutes. We can discuss questions and follow-ups after the updates are done. And then
Aaron, can you increase the font?
oh, here, let me.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. And then yeah, last week we discussed about GitHub issues and Kanban board stuff. So we'll figure out how to do that when we get there. And then the final bit for like the last 20 minutes or so, it's just like parking lot and whatever else we can think of to talk about or questions the community has been brought to one of us. So to get started, last week sushi swap and one yield farming. I took advantage of this. I thought it was pretty sweet to get that rolling in the ecosystem. I've been on Viper quite a bit. Not sure if anyone has done anything with sushi swap, but it was a really clean experience and it was pretty sweet. They got a good site as well, so it feels very trustworthy to be on. Most notably though, Explorer v2 has officially launched. It's out of beta. It's looking pretty good. I've also used this quite a bit and found it very nice to work with compared to the old one. So excellent work on that. Community DAO council members have been picked. There's a link to the article that St. Harrison wrote, and then Meet the Members are all linked in the update as well that you guys can go check out there. Validator updates. The Validator DAO council members have been elected. Another Sam Harrison article. Pretty good stuff there as well. And then there's also this past week's Validator event that I linked to here. Just something from Kratos, Crazy One. I'm not sure exactly what this is all about, but figured it would be helpful to put some information in there. And then introducing Dev Captain Bruno Marshall. He's with us today, I believe. And then, yeah, last week's Dev Captain meeting notes. He went over integrate GitHub project management, figuring out process to do this, validator document notes. So we did that. Bounty guide discussion. I don't know how much we've done here from this past week, but we can go over some of that later. And then talk about prioritizing in real time, calibrating timelines for things. I think this is notable for me as well, as far as getting bounties out and like getting the data there that is necessary for them to work on and ensuring that we have like proper timelines for all that. So yeah, I think that's just about it as far as the updates are concerned. Do you have any questions or comments in any of these subjects?
I just wanted to see if Bruno would be willing to do an introduction so we don't have to read. Just a quick 5-minute intro.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Aaron, for putting me here. I was surprised. Thank you very much for the presentation. Yeah, I'm working at Ford Motor Company already more than 10 years. So I have a PhD. I'm a doctor in mechanical engineering, more in the area additive manufacturing. So I'm working all the stuff in 3D printing stuff, printing machines, printing metal, also plastic. So really nice stuff. Yeah, I started in helping in POps 2 years ago. We started to testing testnet. In that time was called Pangea. So we start a very nice group that we still have is POps that we are running now the testnet. Yeah, that why I'm here currently is because I like this connection between the developers and all the applications, and that's why I felt that I need to be here, at least to give a little feedback and also some insights, because in the last years we saw a lot of things, we pass a lot of things. So sometimes we have issues that I can tell you this is not the issue. This is only a challenge, because we pass even more issues in the past, stronger, and then we solve this. So yeah, that's my introduction. Thank you.
And Bruno is an incredible guitarist, by the way. He's very modest. He doesn't talk about it. but I've heard his music. It's amazing.
It's amazing only for progressive metal. But if you ask them, it's only noise. It's only a perspective.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, playing guitar is pretty rad, and especially progressive metal. I mean, that's hard. I couldn't imagine trying to do that myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bruno was a bit of a celebrity, huh?
I was not celebrity, but I was working to be one. But it's not like we think or we see in the TV or we imagine that it's very easy life. No, it's not. It's nice if you are a big band, a known band, that you reach a top that you can be that you can have a lot of fan, a lot of so you can not rest, but you can enjoy. But if you are in the low level, so you need to work a lot, and in the end you will not. It's a lot of hard work. Let's put it this way. And in my situation, I was, of course, I was making gigs per week, 3 or 4 gigs, and was too much. And then I it's not that I quit, but I set my limits, and now I'm playing only a solo. I'm recording my albums. Last years, last 10 years I record 2 albums and 1 solo, and the bands was before. So the road life, it's really hard.
Nice. And now you're in crypto, which is more low key and chill. I'd say it's probably just as crazy, huh?
Yeah.
Awesome. Hey, Lee, did you want to, since we kind of touched on bounties, is it a good time to talk about the upcoming hackathon, just as an introduction? I think next week we're going to go into more detail about it, but do you think it's worth just touching on that?
Yeah, we can give an update from our end about the hackathon. I don't know how much we've talked about it, but I think there's updates every week, so it's evolving and definitely very exciting. And I know you guys had a sync yesterday. Unfortunately, I missed part of that. But basically, as you guys know, we're going to be announcing a $1 million hackathon. I think the announcement date will be next Monday. Don't hold me to that. It may be sometime next week, as Peter and I get ready for some of the announcement coordination with partners, with prize partners. So already we started writing out the ideas and prizes on harmony.one/prizes. We can send the link after this to the group. And actually it's a public document, so we can share with anybody basically. So there will be 3 main top level categories around our bridges, around our protocol, around the One Wallet, and there will be a lot of other prize partners like Sushi, which is running a specific track. So they'll be giving out with us prizes for the best use of, we haven't settled on all the ideas, but let's say the best use of Onsen, the best use of Miso Launchpad, the best use of Kashi lending protocol building around it, on top of it. And we're also doing some regional partners like Dora Hacks, I think, not DevPost yet, but actually, Aaron, there's no public link yet, but I'll send you the prizes, which is a public document. And we may work with DevPost as well. We're working with Dora Hacks. They have the largest developer community in Asia, Southeast Asia, China. But also Gitcoin, of course, is our main partner. They have the largest Web3 developer community overall. So I think that's this is going to be a really big, we're super excited, right? It's good timing. The Sushi thing launch went well. The Terra bridge launch. There's a couple more in the works. I won't talk about them until they're announced yet, but the hackathon is already basically more or less public. We just haven't blasted it everywhere yet. And so all of it is gonna really converge. So yeah, I can post more on the chat, but I think maybe given Ganesh, I think you guys are doing some more updates on the technical side for easier onboarding for developers so that like the whole hackathon, ideally the whole hackathon runs really smoothly with all the tutorials, all the docs, everyone can just launch and, it's more about like getting the best ideas rather than like fixing bugs at that point. And like, we want to work out all the kinks even now before the start date. So registration opens next week, and then the actual hackathon starts in the first week of August, and it goes to September, mid-September, where judging will happen. All the prizes will be given out. Should be a big event. Hopefully, we'll get tens, if not hundreds, of projects that are formed, launched, or even some of them may have even launched to mainnet by then. And then hopefully get our community of investors to back them. So I'm keeping a list of all the kind of ecosystem investors and get them, make sure they're successful and take it from a hackathon project into potentially some sort of commercial success. So I guess, yeah, I've already talked a while, but yeah, so one fun fact, Uniswap actually came out of a Ethereum hackathon. So that's the kind of, we really want this to be, this will be our biggest, public event that I think we've ever done facing developers. So it really is a good opportunity for us to kind of work together, make sure all the things are converging as we get to the, August start date.
Nice. Ganesh, do you want to just talk about kind of some of the prep work we're doing just to make that onboarding process easier?
Yeah, I mean, mainly like we want to make this hackathon more effective in terms of like how do we make it easier for developers to get started, right? We went over like some of the tooling, deployment, and ecosystem, what all that might be needed for developers. And over the next couple of weeks, what we are going to do is basically try out ourselves all these tooling libraries, etc., and keep on adding more and more examples, guides, and improve the docs.harmony.one developer section with all these various examples, and also fix bugs if there are some. There already we are aware of some of the tooling doesn't work, so we're probably going to fix it in the next couple of weeks and towards getting ready fully for this hackathon. Apart from that, what we want to do is also create a repo that contains template projects. That each of these template projects are some ideas that are borrowed from other hackathon, DeFi, in various places. We will create some template projects with the boilerplate code, and also what that helps is like for developers, they don't have to like deal with like waste time in doing all this, figuring out how to do things. So it'll help them to like get started really fast, and even it may attract. In the previous hackathon, what we did was just to list out the ideas, but we want to take one step further in terms of like kind of like create repos for those ideas with some boilerplate code and some explanation of what is expected and so on, and make a list of like 10 to 15. That is our hope. Let's see how much we will be able to do. Yeah, these are the things we are planning to do. We will definitely involve you guys as well. We're just getting started this week. We internally like have 6-7 people who are going to spend some time over the next couple of weeks working on this. Maybe next week we'll have something more concrete for you guys also contribute and help us. We will let you guys know. Anything to add, Gyu?
No, that's it. I was going to say that I think for our next dev meeting next Thursday, we'll have more information about the different categories and the structure of the hackathon and how dev captains and the rest of you can get involved and kind of help prepare for it. So stand by. Great.
Yeah, if you guys also like have some ideas on like how else we can make this hackathon more effective, feel free to start some thread in talk forum and let's discuss. We need all the inputs because it's going to be huge. So let's contribute.
Yeah,
success.
and you know, going back to what Aaron was saying, I think we should, as soon as possible, set up our Kanban board, right, just to manage all the pieces, right, to be able to have a high level overview of all the things that we need to get done. And then there's a central place for everyone to see, and we can kind of start assigning issues, and people can opt in if they feel they can contribute. So I think we should get that going. I'll work with you, Aaron, if you like, offline to get this set up. Maybe we'll create a separate repo. What do you think, Ganesh, for creating a project, a Kanban board for managing this? Should we create a separate repo, or should we use one of the existing ones for creating issues and tasks, things like that?
We can create new repo. I don't see a common enough repo already existing. We don't want it in the docs.com repo. So let's create maybe a new one.
Yeah, because this is probably needs to be a more general project, because it's going to be, you know, there'll be some stuff from fixing documentation. There'll be another one for creating whatever tutorials. It's going to be pretty disparate. So, okay, yeah, let me set that up after this call, and then we can use that to manage all the pieces.
Yeah, that sounds great with me. I think that makes sense, and we can definitely project that outward easier than trying to find one that meshes it all together.
That's right, yeah. And you know, we can still have the threaded conversations inside the forum, just to share ideas. But for the actual actionable items, I think we do need this project board to just make sure everything is lined up.
Yeah, I think it's a good visual representation, and just easier to look at and track to go over to. So
yeah. Okay, that's on my plate.
Nice. So Kanban stuff's good. We've talked about quite a bit here. There's quite a bit of bounty discussion last week. I don't know if we care to revisit any of that or any of the prioritization talk. Unless we care to stretch out into new and more diverse topics.
Yeah, if does anyone have anything they want to ask about bounties or?
I would have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I was working, like when you're in Gitcoin, the bounties are predefined as competition, right? And they're like a contest. And the contest type says that I think I read somewhere that you have time until the competition finishes, and then the best submission is taken and he gets a prize. When I worked on the bounties, it was most of the time that it was like first comes, first serve. so that somebody who made the submission, it was really fast, that it was like, okay, please make these two improvements and we are done. And I have a little bit of the feeling that this creates like the problem that some bounties are rushed out, so that the quality of the submissions are not that high, and also that it's, for me at least, it was not so encouraging because I don't have all the week to work on a bounty, and then yeah, when I was back after a few days, then the bounty was already accepted, and I was like, okay, I would have done this better and this better, but yeah, I don't know if it's the best approach just to pick the first bounty that's finished. You know what your opinions are about that.
I'll tell you my thoughts on it, and then I'd love to hear Ganesh's. He's got more experience with managing bounties. I've created a few, maybe three or four so far, and my approach has been just like you said, Sev, is there are some bounty hunters that just want to get paid and move on, right? And then when you review their code, it's not great always, not always. But I also know that there's a team of, or a group of other developers who are working on the same bounty, and they're being a lot more thorough, and I know the quality is going to be much better, but it is going to take longer. So I personally like to give them until the end of the bounty duration, the end of the deadline, before making a decision. But I think it really just depends on the nature of the project, right? Like if there is something that is fairly straightforward, you can't really mess it up, right? And someone gets it done quicker, then maybe that's okay. But for some of the more complex projects, I want to wait until I see all of them and before making a decision. But I think it's up to you as the creator of the bounty. I don't know, Ganesh, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, for something like we need really fast, then we and the solution submission is acceptable, then we move forward instead of waiting for longer. For something like which we can wait longer, we have been doing that to see even after the submissions, we wait until period to decide. And also one more point is like if there are multiple submission, I mean, it's not necessarily we just pick the first one. If they're quality ones, we also picked both of them, and we also had cases where we gave out some price for the second and even sometimes third. So we have been very flexible. Just to the whole idea is to encourage participation, and I mean, developers' time is valuable. But yeah, if you have some ideas, we can accommodate too.
Yeah, I have no big ideas, but for a participant, it's sometimes a little bit discouraging if you start working on it and you have not. I mean, you don't really have insights about what's the progress on the bounty, and then you throw all your time into it, and then suddenly it's completed and accepted, and you're like, it's a little bit disencouraging. So
it is.
I don't know how you can. I mean, maybe we can have a clearer communication in the bounties, that it's like for some bounties that it's not so that the first good submission is just accepted, or if there are reiterations or something.
I also found that it helps to communicate with the developers, or have the developers reach out to the owner of the bounty, right? Encourage them to be in constant communication. So I'm working with a bunch of developers right now. I know they're working hard, so I'm definitely not going to pick a winner until they're done, right? So, but if you're working in a vacuum, it might be harder for the bounty creator to know that others are working hard on this project, right? Because sometimes they start and maybe they abandon it or they get distracted.
Are you communicating over Discord or
Yeah.
over the? Okay, because I saw like also communication over the GitHub, and
Yeah, usually, I mean, it depends on the bounty hunter, right? Like they might just reply on GitHub, and I usually just tell them, hey, contact me on Discord. Here's my username.
okay,
And then we either chat or we actually jump on a call, and you know, establish a rapport there, so that whether they have technical questions or just more, they need more data about the nature of the bounty, it's just good to establish that relationship.
So one
Okay,
thing we could do
thank
is
you.
encourage bounty participants to provide the intermediate updates, so that if someone else wants to jump in, they probably know they can't front run the person, so probably they'll stop from wasting their effort, or even that may result in more collaboration, maybe.
I think that would be a good idea. That we like maybe have some template or boilerplate text that we add to every bounty that encourages the participants to just update when they have issues or update when they have problems in the GitHub, and then everyone can check the GitHub how active those developers are. Because I also started one bounty and it was like, okay, maybe I have time, and then I never came back to it. And if you see like 3 participants, you won't even start the bounty. Maybe we can encourage the communication there. It would be maybe a good idea.
Sure. Adam has raised his hand.
Thanks. Yeah, I was just thinking maybe it would be nice to have like an idea of a trusted developers or some sort of kind of not rank, but if someone is like recurring and they're coming back and they're like very active, then we could prioritize it and we could just close the bounty, that like sort of not being a contest, but just giving it fully for that person. If someone proved in the past they just done like 5 bounties or something like that, just an idea.
I think it's a little bit dangerous because then we discourage new developers to come in. That's a little bit the downside. But
could be,
yeah.
I think what I've seen in the past is most times people don't step on their toes, each other's toes. If they see somebody already made a good progress, their GitHub is fantastic, then I mean, I can pick some other bounties. So that's how we are seen. There's wasn't much of a same scale competition so far, I would say. Apart from like smaller projects, there were multiple submissions that didn't take a lot of effort for developers. In those cases, we have been awarding multiple prizes too. So I think it's okay, the process. We just update a template with the encouraging more updates from the bounty hunters. That should suffice for now.
You know, one other interesting thing that I've noticed being kind of new to managing bounties is that when you start communicating with the developers, they often have, they're new, right? They're new to the protocol. They're just learning, and they have many questions that they can't find in the docs, right? Like really basic things. How do I do X? How do I do Y? And that shows that there's a, you know, there's a gap in our docs and our onboarding flow process. So having our project board would also allow us to quickly add, as soon as an issue comes up from a new developer, we can put that in there, just to make sure that we address those issues for the next developer who comes along and also has the same question. So it's a really good opportunity to understand, you know, areas of improvement.
Yeah, we could also proactively reach out in GitHub bounty page itself to those bounty hunters, asking them on regular basis whether they are stuck on something, they have some issues and so on. This is where dev captains can also help us. If you see some of the bounty issue page, there are many people started, but it doesn't show the progress. So probably they're stuck or they don't have time. Maybe we can ask proactively, like if they're stuck on something where we can help. That may encourage more updates from them.
Mhm. Okay. Over to you, Aaron.
Nice. So got quite a few notes from that. Let's see. We talked about prioritization of different things, and I think we kind of talked about that in this discussion, as well as far as bounties are concerned. We probably would weight specific bounties higher to get done, and like when we express these timelines and deadlines through communication, we'll definitely want to put that in the main like section where we describe the bounty, I imagine. I guess like, how does this pertain to developer captains expediting this process for the internal team? I think if you talked about the onboarding process is tough, I would second that notion. I found it difficult when I was looking at bounties to just get like up and rolling. Is this like a time that we would prioritize like dev captains to do some of this work? Should we dull it out? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think it's having that feedback loop, right? First of all, having a place where we can aggregate all of these areas of concern, right? So when a developer comes up and starts to work on a bounty and raises issues around, I don't know, not finding the right information, then we need to log that straight away. And this is where dev captains can help to kind of channel those requirements. If it's, I don't know, documentation that needs to be improved, that can be maybe assigned to a dev captain who can then take that on. If it's a bigger task, that can spawn another bounty, right? If it's a substantial amount of work. So I think we need that kind of flow and dynamic that would allow us to just constantly improve the process as more bounties and more developers come on board.
Cool. Yeah, that makes sense. Sweet. I guess I don't want to beat a dead horse into the ground any further with bounty discussion. Should we just talk about like some fun things that are going on within the network itself, like with DeFi or any like subjects outside of development specifically, unless anyone has further questions on like how to improve the Explorer v2.x. Yeah, I guess, is there any other questions before we like move on to maybe some more fun subjects?
I would have a question about the Explorer v2 because like I saw it already in the docs that the features that are most missing and that were like planned for the Explorer was the holders list from the HSC 20 tokens and the contract page where you can see all the functions in a contract. Maybe just what's the stand there and are those implemented in version 2? And yeah, what's the progress in that?
Is Sahil's not on the call. I
think so. Jen is working on completing the holders list. And are you talking about contract verification or read and write contract feature where you can see the functions and interact with those using MetaMask?
Seb, you're on mute.
Those exactly.
Yeah, the read and write contract feature is not yet started, but contract verification is there. I think it has some issues right now, which is currently being fixed. And probably in a couple of days or early next week, we should have contract verification fully working, and also the token holder thing functional.
I'm quite new to Web3, so I just saw the bytecode, and I'm not sure how can I use the bytecode of the contract to verify if there are some errors or malicious behavior inside of it.
Yeah. I mean, although the contract verification feature exists, we still have to encourage our tap developers and the person who deployed contract to also publish source code. So, I mean, we talked about this. We are going to reach out to all the known dApps to ask them if they can publish their source code just to get started. Eventually, like this will be automatic process where new dApps will automatically publish their source code, right, to make them more trustworthy. But right now, since there are many people probably not aware this feature exists or working, so we are going to reach out to them and encourage them to submit their source code. After that, you would see the contract not as bytecode, mostly functions inside it and verify to a certain extent. Yeah, I will ask Sahil to provide maybe timeline for some of these features. When are they going to be released?
Nice. I guess, is there anything else that people would like to talk about? No. I guess it's up to you guys. Lee or Give where we go from here, but we could go about ending early or just shoot the shit, whatever sounds good.
Yeah. I mean, we can just open it up now if anyone's got any questions, especially some of the new folks on the call. If you want to just introduce yourselves, tell us how you're involved, and yeah, just anything you wanted to ask. Now's the time.
Cool. Hey guys. I'll just do a quick introduction. My name is Anton, and I've been working with Dylan on a few personal projects with crypto, his like Bogani network, and this decentralized educational program called the Alexandria Project. Basically just bringing like blockchain education in like a decentralized format. That's kind of been my whole passion behind crypto, and Harmony is just educating, and pretty much everyone I talk to about crypto is just about the technology, about possible use cases, and just real passionate about it. Like Bruno, I'm a musician. I sing opera, I do piano, various other instruments, guitar, ukulele, stuff like that. But I think where me and Dylan came in is we're both artists, and we really found the use case merging like artist stuff, the artist world with crypto and NFTs, and that's kind of where our passions met, just on the side projects. I had a quick question. I don't know, this kind of going back to like that developer stuff. I'm wondering about voting on like Web3 or the blockchain. Like, this might be a dumb question, but who decides the winner of the bounties? And also, is there anything in the future about like voting on bounty winners with like the public? I know Harmony is all about like kind of letting the public basically be almost like self-automated. What does that process look like as far as picking bounty winners through the public and voting, stuff like that? Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a dumb question at all. I totally agree, and in fact, the way we're doing it right now, it works. Where you have the bounty creator who manages it and decides who the winner is. But if we're going to scale and we're going to have hundreds, if not thousands, of bounties, it's just not possible, right? For one person to do that. So
Totally.
we really do need to think about how we can scale this, how we can democratize it. I don't know how yet. I think maybe Lee's had more time to think about this. If you've got any thoughts there, Lee.
So one thing there's a couple ways, right? So right now it's mostly the team with the dev captains. It's still a relatively small group that reviews the bounties, and especially the technical ones that actually has to, like, for example, I'll give you the 1 second finality bounty that we list on Gitcoin. Actually, there were 2 submissions and neither were going to be useful. So RJ actually, our CTO reviewed it, and that's a very extreme case, but we want to move towards more, as you say, more public and more community participation. So the dev captains here will start to review more of the bounties, and then we want to form, into a developer DAO. That'll be one of the DAOs within the Harmony ecosystem that will be managing both creating the bounties, managing it, reviewing it. And then for the hackathon, we have judges that are external judges. So like folks from the DeFi community, Sushi will be one of the judges, like things like that. And then actually the next level, which I'm really excited about, and I had this conversation with DoraHacks yesterday, is when you put a hackathon on their platform, they actually have the community vote with the native one token and say, okay, I think this is the best project. So there will be a community rank of voting, and those votes will actually get matched by the Harmony Foundation in prizes. So now all of a sudden you have like the entire world, anybody who holds one token gets to vote on the best project for that hackathon. And so the DoraHacks will be probably around $50,000 this time, dollars from the foundation, and then from the community. The community matching actually is more sometimes than the prize sponsors. So basically you're like getting double the amount or something like that. I know they've run very successful campaigns with, Binance, other protocols. They're doing one with Filecoin right now. And so I think, and then as you probably see with Gitcoin, there's quadratic sort of matching funding. There's ways to like really turbocharge and like have the community just say, this is what we want. So I think we're going to be working with partners. It won't be us like creating some other web platform where people do this. It'll be Gitcoin and DoraHacks, and if probably those two to start, and we can really scale it up with both of them, right? So, I mean, Gitcoin at the just to show how far we've come. So at the beginning of the year, we did the first hackathon, Hack the Horizon with Gitcoin, and it was still good. Like there are 400 people, but this time we're really shooting for 1,000 developers to participate, a lot of community participation. And then, yeah, I'm super excited about the DoraHacks thing. Even given Ganesh didn't have the update because I was in the meeting with Steve just yesterday. So yeah, should be great.
Cool. That sounds exciting. And yeah, 1,000 people, that'll be really awesome. I'm curious, I'm not sure if I missed this somewhere, but where will this be broadcast? Obviously in the developer community, it's going to be this like amazing thing. But as far as like, the prizes and everything is amazing, but it's like, how does the masses adopt this and find this really interesting? And yeah, where's that broadcast, I guess?
Well, we will try to broadcast it in as many channels as we can. Mm-hmm. But actually, we love for the dev captains to think of new places. You guys are probably out there, like just by the fact that you guys are from different communities and different backgrounds, like different people, like help us figure out where the place is, right? So right now we're kind of, our core team, our core team is really only 20 people, and we have some contractors and everything else, but like, we're going to be relying heavily on Gitcoin and DoraHacks and maybe DevPost. We haven't talked to them formally yet, but we luckily we have now like 200,000 followers on Twitter and these good things, but we definitely need to find new places, new geographies, even countries. We're happy to give out like best prices from a certain country. Let's just say like, whether it's India or, Latin America, whatever, the region could be, there could be many new communities. I mean, we're just scratching the surface. So whatever ideas we can, for distribution, we'd love that.
Totally. I don't know if this is the appropriate place to put this idea, but just like, I wonder if there's a way to get as many influencers as we can in this place to just like share and geolocate and just get as many influencers, whether in the crypto space or not, like just reach out to like anybody with like, 500,000 plus followers, say, hey, like we have this cool thing, like even if we offer money or if there's some other way we can get them there, but just how do we get cool people to be like, oh my God, this is like the frontier, we're here, almost like making it like a Comic-Con event of sorts, and just making it like almost starting this trend of, this isn't just like a nerdy thing, this is like where everybody will live. And how it's just like the cool thing. Influencers, I don't know.
Let's well, that can be your project. Help us with that. Seriously.
Totally. Yeah, I'm on it. I think my thing is just always connecting people and reaching out, and I don't know, I have this kind of outgoing personality, not like introverted at all. So I can do my best to talk with people and kind of get the feel of the landscape and see how they feel about coming out and
participate.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I just want to add one thing, because you talk about, or you mentioned this voting system. So maybe I can clarify a little about how it works, the DAOs currently. So Snapshot is a decentralized platform that Harmony will use for voting. So you can see that there's already the validator DAO there, and some projects that are using decentralized way for voting. So the issue that we had 2 weeks ago with the voting with Community DAO, you can see that you don't see it here. The reason why you don't see it here, because what I'm seeing here, the team was so busy with Explorer, with a lot of, with the sushi, so many things going on that we didn't have enough time to implement the Community DAO here. And another issue is that the community members, they are more related to the community, and they are not, let's say, developers. They cannot do it themselves. So they need to ask the developers to do this thing. And they were expecting that this could be very fast to implement. But unfortunately, it was not like that. We were busy, and of course, if some platform has the luxus to implement a voting system internally in the platform, then will be great. For example, DaVinci is using internally a voting system. It's working, is a fork from Snapshot implemented in DaVinci. But this year is what we will use for developers community DAO, validators community DAO, community DAO. So everything will be here. So we were trying the last weekend, but it was very rushed. So we hear the critics that was rushed. So in the future we will try to implement first all the mechanisms for the voting, and then there will be the voting. So I think all the persons involved in the community DAO, they they saw that was, let's say, not the proper way for voting. But as I see that it's the first thing, so we are now making small steps. I don't think that was a big issue using the system, the voting system that they used. I vote, and from my side was okay. But the reason why I was not here was because the stress and the time was not, everything was a lot of heavy. So yeah, from my side, I have to say also sorry, because I was busy and I could not help the community group to implement this year in Snapshot, especially because we were busy, as I said. I was really Sunday. I was at 3 or 4 in the morning trying to solve some issues. So for some critics that we hear is, before we jump in Twitter writing what we want or what we think, try to understand what happened and what was the reason why we didn't implement such a decentralized manner to vote here. So what we can do, what we learn is, we have now time. So let's do as well here in Snapshot, also for us, dev captains, this validator DAO here, DAO slot here. If we have time, we do as well for the community DAO, because they need it here as well. And I think we are in a better position. I think this answers your question, Anton. I somehow understood what you were asking.
Thank you, Bruno. Yeah, I'm really excited about everything I hear, and I feel like I'm getting a little bit more caught up with everybody, and I'm just very excited for the future of development.
Thank you.
Adam, you had a hand up. Do you still have a question?
Sorry, no, actually, I don't. I wanted to ask if there is an announcement channel for Telegram, but I see there is. So that's all.
Okay. All right. Just have a few minutes left. Anyone else? Any questions? Any of the new folks?
I would like to ask if somehow the community DAO can help you guys developing in some sort of way.
How do you mean? Can you expand?
I mean, we can actually have some time to start learning something that will be useful for the developer team, so you guys don't spend so many time developing things that we need.
Yeah, just to add my 2 cents there. Community DAO can really help to surface, let's say, what user wants, right? Some of the features or maybe missing things, and bring that to the attention of developer captains or developer DAO in the future, so that they can kind of make it into a bounty or put more resource behind it to get it done. So that's where I see one place. Another thing is, of course, community DAO can also help preparing guides for some of the tools. Those are doesn't require a lot of developer experience. So that's where 2 things, where community DAO and developer DAO can interact.
I also would add maybe that if our community members, if somebody has a question, like a developer question, or is searching for help, that you just guide them to the forum and to the dev call, and just that people know where they can go if they need any help. And I think that's the most difficult part in the beginning, that the people they're posting on Reddit, they're posting on Telegram, they're posting somewhere, but they don't know where to go. So maybe just show them where they can go, where they can get help. In the forum, in the Discord, or here in the dev calls. I think that would be good.
Thank you.
yeah, definitely. In general, we want to turn the forum talk.harmony.one into, you know, a database of knowledge, right? Like it's linkable. It's, you know, it's going to get indexed by Google and search engines. So like we want to collect everything there so that we can just point folks to, you know, to those threads if they have similar questions. So definitely encourage people to use that. All right, I think that is it. Unless anyone has any other questions, we can wrap up and see you all next week.
Bye, guys.
All right, take care, everyone.
Yes. Bye bye, everyone. Bye.
I guess.
You guys.
Yes.